An interesting story this week from the world of artificial intelligence. It appears Adobe is making swift moves, solidifying their creative suite for the future of AI, as fake models online are being face-swapped and pimped out in a concerning new trend of so-called AI pimping. For more on this, I'm joined by Dr. Karen Sutherland from the University of the Sunshine Coast. It's wonderful to see you. Interesting times. Let's start with this concerning story you brought to our attention this week about these deep fake digital pornographic images you've seen.
Oh, it's terrible. So it's basically the mass harvesting of women's images to create pornographic AI content. So basically what's happening is some bad actors online are taking the images of existing influencers and women who have their photos out there online and then turning them into something really dark and sinister and using it to actually lure people in to buy subscriptions to OnlyFans, and it's just completely unethical. It's happened in the past with people doctoring still images, but now it's deepfake video that they're actually using it for.
And of course we saw the issues on X, formerly known as Twitter, with Taylor Swift, and of course there was outcry and changes to the laws. It does seem to be women being targeted. Is that the case that you've seen across the board?
That's what we're hearing about, but I'm sure it's happening in more sinister ways as well. That's not sinister enough, but I think society's most vulnerable are going to be targeted, absolutely. Yeah, it's a real issue, and it just highlights the lack of regulation and the holes in regulation that we currently have.
Let's talk about that. What are the things we could be potentially seeing in the future when it comes to regulation and locking this stuff down? It's an extremely daunting task when it comes to the access to this sort of stuff.
It's really hard, isn't it, to pinpoint who's doing it. In this particular story, they did find the person, but if that's actually happening to you and you find images like that of yourself or video like that online and you take it to your local police station, what happens then? It's almost like when revenge porn laws did not exist yet. And we're almost back in that stage with this.
Yeah, and of course there's that ethical consideration about rolling out technology that's fun, face swapping, etc., deep fakes. It's advertised as this fun, playful kind of thing, but then of course we're seeing these sinister applications of it. But let's move ahead and talk about Adobe if we could. I understand OpenAI and they're partnering together.
This is a positive story. It looks like Adobe is going to integrate OpenAI's Sora, the text-to-video that they're developing, into Premiere Pro, the editing suite, which is going to be really amazing. It's going to really help video editors, but just the everyday person to be able to create really amazing video content.
I was watching some of the demonstrations here and we're seeing on screen, and as somebody who's done video editing using Premiere Pro, I felt guilty being excited by it because, as you and I have discussed before on the program, they're really exciting tools, but there is those ethical things. What's going to happen to the editors and the jobs for people out there in the film industry? But it looks really clever.
It is, and I think, look, there's still going to be the need for real people, because we're not there yet where AI can speak dialogue really well and things like that in terms of actually replacing actors. I think, though, if you're in these creative fields, you need to learn how to write prompts, quick, smart, and how to use this technology, because that will mean you'll be current in your skills. Yeah, I think it's a plus, but yeah, keep upskilling, absolutely.
Yeah, said. And of course, do you think a partnership like Adobe and OpenAI is something that we can expect to see from more institutions around the world as they continue to lead the way?
Absolutely. Even now, you can see how AI is being integrated into many of the tools that we're using. So yes, this is just the beginning. It's going to happen more and more, for sure.
Dr. Karen Sutherland, thanks for your time and bringing this to our attention. As always, we'll be keeping a close eye on what is happening out there in the wild world of AI. So appreciate you and your time.
Thank you so much.